Hello friends, this is Suzi Perez, owner and founder of VinMaps. As I mentioned in the previous video, we at VinMaps are all about creating beautiful, informative wine region maps. Through our YouTube channel, we'll be primarily talking about wine with a touch of geography here and there and other related fun topics. Today, we're starting a short series of 4 videos on sparkling wines, one of my favorite topics. So there are a lot of celebrations going on right now. With May, we had Mother's Day, and it was actually my birthday and my mom's birthday. Happy birthday, Mom. And in June, of course, there's Father's Day. Virtual weddings are happening, I'm sure, and some graduations are still happening despite the quarantine situation. And, you know, June is upon us, summer's upon us, so time to celebrate. I wanted to talk about sparkling wines a bit, as these are such a fun, delicious, and easy way to literally add some bubbles and sparkle to any celebration you may be having. Although you certainly don't need an excuse to open up a bottle of bubbly. Life is reason enough, right? To begin this series, I wanted to highlight one of my very favorite sparkling wine producers in the United States, Gruet Winery. Over 18 years ago, while I was visiting my mom and stepdad in Albuquerque, they knew I was into wine and wine tasting and suggested we go to this local winery. So we cruised over, and it was Gruet Winery, of course, and after tasting these sparkling wines, I just fell in love. I was hooked, and I've been a loyal customer ever since. I've actually been to their new facilities. Well, they've been around a while now, but the initial facility I've been to, and there's 2 more now, and I've been to the Albuquerque one a couple of times. The last time was a couple years ago, and it's a really fun place, and they've got, you know, sparkling flights, and it's amazing. So I highly recommend the visit. A little bit about the Gruet backstory, though, because it is a very fascinating, interesting story. In 1983, while the Gruet family were sort of traveling through the west of the United States, they met some European winemakers in New Mexico who had successfully planted vineyards to an area about 170 miles south of Albuquerque. While the land there was inexpensive at the time, the opportunity could not be passed up. So in 1984, Gilbert Gruet, whose champagne house Gruet NV had produced fine champagne in Béton, France since 1952, decided to plant an experimental vineyard exclusively to Pinot Noir and Chardonnay grapes. His children, winemaker Laurent and daughter Natalie, then relocated to New Mexico from France to begin their winemaking adventure. The excellent 1987 harvest allowed Laurent to produce his first 2 wines. Their acclaimed Gruet Brut NV and Gruet Brut Blanc de Noir NV, their first 2 sparkling wines, were released in 1989. Critics, connoisseurs, and regular wine lovers like me were astonished by the quality and the value, which is still astonishing. So let's talk a little bit about the vineyards, because this is obviously so important to what happens in this bottle of wine here. These particular source vineyards in New Mexico are high in elevation and feature sandy loam soils. Sweeping winds naturally keep pests away and thin the canopy for greater flavors. As well, of course, at those higher elevations during the day in the desert, we're talking, you know, high temperatures, of course, and then at night, though, with that elevation, you get a decrease in temperature. So this helps to slow the maturation process of those grapes. Gruet sources from 3 vineyards: Engel Vineyard at elevation 4,245 feet, has 75 planted vineyard acres to Chardonnay and Pinot Noir. Luna Rosa Vineyard at elevation 4,335 feet, has 300 planted vineyard acres to Chardonnay and Pinot Noir. And Tamaya Vineyard at elevation 5,110 feet, has 30 planted vineyard acres to Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, and Pinot Meunier. Now to the really fun part, the wines. Gruet offers non-vintage sparkling, vintage sparkling wines, and still wines. Today we'll be looking at 3 of their non-vintage sparkling wines, Brut NV, Blanc de Blanc, and Brut Rosé. These wines are made with strict adherence to the French méthode champenoise by allowing the last stage of fermentation to occur in the bottle. These are aged in tirage for a minimum of 18 months, and tirage, referring to the French term for the period of time a sparkling wine has rested in the bottle in contact with the yeast sediment from the secondary fermentation. NV meaning that these are blends from different years of harvest. So let's start with the Brut. Being a Brut, so being on the 0 to very low residual sugar end of the spectrum, is going to be expected to be dry and crisp. And as long as they keep making this little beauty, I'll always buy this one. It's one of my favorite sparklers. As a Brut, with that crispness and dryness, in this particular case, we'll see some citrus, green apple, and mineral, and I would also add a slight, just opened, cold honeydew melon freshness. It's like opening a bottle of joy every time. Fresh, delicious, wonderful color, beautiful bubbles, and such a wonderful balance of the aromas of the citrus, for instance, and just a light zestiness. It's just perfect. I love this dry style. Next, we have the Blanc de Blanc. I have to go open the Blanc de Blanc. So next we have this beautiful Blanc de Blanc. Blanc de Blanc is a French phrase meaning white wine from white grapes. Blanc de Blanc are usually light and delicate. Gruet Blanc de Blanc is a Brut styled sparkler. Medium lemon in color, as you can see, almost very gold actually to me. With a fantastic bead in the glass that remains incredibly lively through the palate. Aromas of intense notes of brioche, followed by green apples, lemon zest, honeysuckle, and tropical fruit. Okay, let's look, sniff, and taste. Very different from the Brut NV. Definitely, there's a richness there, fine zest, tropical fruit. I get an essence, very slight essence of mango and pineapple. So this going through your mouth immediately elevates your mood and gives you a serotonin hit on top of all that. Quite lovely. And just a beautiful gold color, and the bubbles are nice and tight, gorgeous. Okay, see, this is really fun. Sparkling wine is where it's at. Next, we will have the Brut Rosé. Hold on while I switch that out. So this is made, the Brut Rosé is made solely from Pinot Noir. And as you can see, has a gorgeous pale salmon hue. It offers wild strawberry, plum, and floral aromatics and flavors, complemented by zesty acidity and a delicate mineral finish. Beautiful small bubbles. Yeah, I get that wild strawberry right away, and very floral aromatics. A little bit of the plum, definitely get that. Just lovely, very refreshing. And don't let the rosé color fool you. A lot of times you see that color and you think, oh, it's sweet. Not in this case. It's just perfectly balanced. And, you know, it's a Brut Rosé, so it's going to be on that drier side of the residual sugar structure. It's just gorgeous. Okay, so there you have that. This actually gets 88 points and is a smart buy by Wine Spectator. And that's what we have for our 3 sparkling tastings this evening from Gruet Winery. Gruet has 2 tasting rooms, one in Albuquerque that I already mentioned and one in Santa Fe. They also have a great website. You can go there, check out further information and all their current offerings. And I hope you've enjoyed this brief look into a few of Gruet's sparkling wines. Sparkling wine will remain one of my favorites. It's refreshing, vibrant, and for me, it offers a sense of joy of life, along with a bit of mystique. Thank you so much for watching and sharing a few minutes with me today. I hope you enjoyed this one of 4 series exploring sparkling wine. I'd love to know what your favorite sparkling wine is, or sparkling wines are. Let me know in the comment area below. And if you enjoyed this video, I'd love it if you'd click the subscribe and bell buttons so that you can be notified and watch future videos and content as it unfolds. You're also supporting a small business to grow, so that's always wonderful. Until next time, take care and cheers.